How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So in today's video we're going to be working on this 2015 Dodge Dart you see here in the background, and unfortunately this Dart succumbed to a little bit of storm damage that happened during one of our latest snowstorms. There's a few dents in the roof and one dent where the paint was actually peeled off a little bit. So in this video, we're going to have to start working on removing the headliner and all of the A, B, and C pillar trims so we can lower the headliner down and get these dents in the roof repaired. Now, further on in the video, we will have to remove the front passenger side seat, and in order to do that, we're going to use a special bit called a more torque bit. I'll talk more about it as we go on in the video, but if you need any information about it, I will drop the link down below to FCP Euro where I purchased the set of these more torque bits for around $23. So they're not expensive, and if you guys need this tool to do a job like this or this exact same job, you can follow that link and be able to purchase that tool so you can do it properly. Now, without further ado, I'm going to take you over to the car, show you the exact damage that we're going to be working with, and then we're going to jump right in with the repair process and getting that headliner removed. So as you guys can see here, this is the worst of the dents right there, where the paint is actually peeled off of the roof. There's two little dents there, and then there are a couple further up here along the roof. There's one there that's fairly small and no broken paint, and then there's another smaller crease up here along the front windshield that you can't really see, but it is there in sunlight, so we want to get that fixed as well. So those are the major damage on this roof. The rest of the car survived perfectly fine, so we're going to jump inside and work on getting the headliner down so we can then remove that antenna, which you can see I've already done here. So we're going to show you the entire process of that, and after that you guys should know how to get this done if you need to in the future. So let's get right into it. Alrighty guys, so first, as with any headliner removal, we're going to start by removing all of the pillar trims on the A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar all the way around the car. After that, we're going to start by removing the grab handles above each door, and then we're going to have to remove the sun visors because those are bolted in as well and help hold the headliner in. Once that's done, we should be able to drop the headliner down slightly, and then we're going to be able to move up top on the car, and we're going to have to remove that antenna. So let's get started, get these pillar trims removed, and remove the rest of the components I mentioned, and continue on with the process to get this headliner out of the car. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, we got the pillar trim removed here. The headliner on the end slides into this little slot here, so you gotta be careful when you're removing this to not crease the headliner at all. You see I was able to get it out without any damage to it whatsoever. The last thing, after you remove this pillar piece, which is attached to the actual pillar by 3 clips, one here, here, and here. Those attach to these little round pins on the back side of the pillar cover. You can see them right here and here. So those snap in all the way down. The last thing, once you get those removed, is this strap that holds the pillar cover to the actual A pillar of the vehicle. So when the airbags deploy, that this cover doesn't go flying across the vehicle. So the last thing we're gonna have to do is remove one end of this strap, either from the A pillar itself or from the back of the cover. I'm going to play around with both sides and see if I can figure out which one's easier. But once we get that removed, we'll be able to get this trim piece out of the way and move on to the rest of the piece. So there you have it. We were able to get that tab removed from that metal bracket right there. All you have to do is depress that little locking tab there, and it slides out that way. And now that we got everything removed, there's the pillar cover. So next we're going to work on removing the rear seat bottom. This rear seat bottom has 2 airbags in either side, so for that reason it's bolted down to the floor with 2 13mm bolts on either side that are held in behind these little carpet squares here. So there's one here, and there's also one right over here on the passenger side, which I've already removed the cover for that one right here. So we're gonna remove those 2, and then we'll pop up this seat and see whatever wires there are underneath for the airbags. We'll get those disconnected and get this bottom removed, so we can then move on to getting the back panel removed, and then take out those C-pillar covers that are here and run down the entire side of the seat on both sides. They're also held in by one screw up here that's behind a little access door on either side, so you'll have to remove that access door as well before you try to remove those panels and these covers. So guys, the seat is removed. It's not too difficult to take out. Like I mentioned, it's just 2 13mm bolts at the front, and then the rear part of it is held down just by these 2 tabs in the floor. They clip into little sections in the back of the seat. So you're gonna have to push the seat somewhat back and pull it up at the same time to get it off of those 2 tabs. Once that's done, you're just gonna disconnect the 2 yellow airbag connectors at either side that go into the bottom of the seat for the side airbags and the bottom of the seat bench itself, and then the entire seat is able to be removed. So not too bad. Now we're gonna get on to removing the back part of the seat so we can get on to those C-pillar covers. So the back portion of the seat looks to just be held in by a few nuts. Got 1 there, 2 there in the center, another one there, and then if we flip this up, we'll see the center seatbelt bracket has 2 nuts on it that are holding it in. So basically all we should have to do is remove those in the back, these 2 up front, and this one here. Actually, this one doesn't hold in part of the seat. This is just for a seatbelt buckle. So we should be good to remove those ones in the back, as well as these 2 up here, and this whole rear bench portion should come out. So after taking a little closer look at this C-pillar setup here, it looks like we don't actually have to remove the seats to get these out, because they do clear just past the top of the seat here. The piece ends right here, so we should just be able to get that 1 screw out of the top, and this whole section here, all the way down the pillar to right here, should come out as 1 piece. So let's see if we can get this out and save us a little bit of work by having to not remove these seats. So while we got the Torx bit on the impact driver, I'm gonna remove both of these from the grab handle real quick, and then we'll be able to get all the screws out of the way first before we try pulling any plastics. It's all the same size T15 Torx for all of these screws, and the same thing in the B-pillar here. So I'm gonna knock all those out. I'll do both sides while we're here, and then we'll work on getting those trim pieces. So this pillar piece is ready to come off. We ran into one small snag right down here. For whatever reason, they decided to put a small nut at the base of this pillar cover. So we have to just pop off this piece slightly, move it over to the side, and then it gives you full access to get into that nut. Once we remove that, we'll be able to get that all off. I already got the other side all taken apart as far as the screws. The handles are down, as you can see, and we got the B-pillar covers off. So we're gonna go through and remove that nut from the bottom there, and then we'll have to do the same thing over there. Then we should be good with getting these C-pillar covers out. The last thing we should have to do is remove that last A-pillar cover over there, the front grab handles, and those sun visors. So let's get it going on that. We should be able to get this headliner dropped down fairly shortly. So that pillar cover is out, and once I'm taking a look in here, it's kind of amazing to look and see all the advancements that they've made as far as design and structure when it comes from, you know, being used to working on Neons and the Stratuses and the older vehicles, the older Chrysler products. You come to this and you see all these different changes that they've made. You know, we got side impact airbag sensors here, all the different sealers and plugs that they've put in, and all the sound deadening foam. They really seem to have used a lot of this through this car. All through the rockers, all through the pillars, the roof, all through the upper structures. I've seen a lot of insulating foam, and it's just pretty neat to see all the advancements that they've made and the newer technology that they're packing into these new cars. So anyways, aside from that, that's out of the way. We're gonna get the other side off, and then the work in the back of this car should be done. So guys, we've got the headliner starting to come down. We've got the front part detached. We got the sun visors off, and the center sunglass holder and the overhead storage area with the lighting unit in there. We took that down because that helps to hold it in. Got all these insulation pieces on the back here. Kind of neat to see how this goes together. Lots of genuine Mopar hot glue on the back of this. Pretty cool to see. So I'm gonna stop here for right now. In the morning, I will come back, get that A-pillar cover down, and that's the last thing holding the headliner up. We should be able to drop the entire thing down and start to remove it from the car. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, we got the headliner down. It's detached from all of its mounting points, and it's resting on the headrests and the dash up here. When you take this headliner down, there is one main wiring harness that you can see right here that runs down the driver's side A-pillar, and it connects into the driver's side end of the dash around the corner there. You'll have to open the door, and it connects on the side over there. So you'll have to remove that wiring harness, and then the rest of the headliner will come right down for you. There are a few clips that hold that wiring harness into the A-pillar, but they're not difficult to remove with basic trim removal tools. So that is all down. I'll take you around to the back here, and we'll take a look at the antenna. We did get that removed. As you can see, there's a little dirt there. We'll have to get that cleaned up. So when you're removing the antenna on these cars, it's pretty simple. It's just one 10mm bolt that holds in a fastener on the back side. Then once you remove that, you'll have to disconnect this wire here for the actual radio antenna, and this wire, which I believe is for GPS capability. Even though this specific car doesn't have it, I believe that's what that wiring is for. So you'll disconnect both of those, and the wiring will pull out right through the roof with the rest of the antenna, and you can set that aside. I will go get the antenna so you can see the actual fastener. Backside of the roof skin, along with that 10mm bolt that just tightens down pretty loosely on there and holds that onto the roof. So that's pretty easy to remove. Now we're gonna go ahead and start removing that passenger side seat. Now to do that, On this specific dart and any dart from 2014 and up, you're gonna need what is called a more torque bit, and these are them right here. So they basically look like a Torx head, but you can see they are slightly rounded on the corners. They kind of flare out, and that is what the bolt looks like. So the 2013 model year darts use a regular T40 Torx, but 2014 and up use this more torque bit, and this is an M2, it says. So this is what we're going to be using to get these seat bolts out, so we can remove this passenger side seat and then move on to getting the entire headliner out of the car. We're going to take it out through that back passenger side door, because that is the least way that we can get it out without causing any damage. So we're going to get started on that, get these seat bolts taken out, slide the seat out through the passenger front door, and then we're going to get to that headliner. So let's get started and get that taken care of. So the inner rail, guys, is held in the rear by the same type of bolt. The only thing that's different about this one is this plastic cover. So pretty easy to get into. We're just gonna open this side little flap that closes up against here, and we have direct access into the bolt, so we can get that loosened up to get the rest of the seat removed from the car. So we're gonna get on that and get the seat out. So guys, there it is. We got the headliner out of the car. As you can see, there's absolutely no damage. Super happy we were able to get it out without creating any creases in it or any ripples, damage, or tears. It all looks great. We're gonna set this aside and keep it real safe so it doesn't get damaged. This piece alone is around $900 to replace, so we really don't want it getting damaged. So I'm gonna put it away, store it away, make sure it doesn't get hurt at all, and then it'll be ready once the dent in the roof gets fixed that we can put it back in the car. Alrighty guys, so as you've seen, we got the headliner removed from the car and it is ready to go to the shop to get that dent in the roof repaired. So if you found this video helpful or interesting, or if you want to see the rest of this project come back together after it's repaired, feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share this video if you have a friend that might be needing to do the same thing, or somebody else that'll find it interesting. As always, thanks for watching and have an awesome day.